welcome to another edition of You Can Get There From Here. I'm Dr. Joe Moore, Chair of the Department of Communication and Digital Media Production at the University of Central Missouri, and it's my pleasure every week to get to sit down and visit with some of our alumni. We talk to those who graduated in communication studies, others who got their degree in digital media production, some who got their master's degrees, and occasionally we get to talk to somebody who got their degree before that's what it was called. Today is just such a day. Meet PJ Hartzell. PJ got his degree, his bachelor's degree, in broadcast media, and then in 2012, he earned a master's degree in mass communication. PJ, great to have you on. How are you doing?
Thanks. I'm doing great, Joe. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. We're so glad to get to spend this time visiting with you a little bit. One of our rare two-time graduates. It's nice to have you all on. We'll talk about both the undergrad and the grad. But before we get into that, talk to us about your background. Where are you from? What led you to UCM? What got you into media?
So I am from Raymore, Missouri. Let's see here. So how I took this path in high school, I wanted to take part in a job shadow. I think it was my junior year of high school. I had always had like a kind of a I wanted to get into film. That was what I really wanted to do, was like film. Like, oh, I could be a film producer. I could make, I could make it out to LA and like become a film producer. And I had a family friend who did video production, and he worked at Sprint at the time. And so I gave him a call. I was like, hey, I need to job shadow somebody. I was like, can I come job shadow you one day? And he was like, absolutely, come on over. So I went and I job shadowed him. Still in high school, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, that was cool. All right, whatever. And then I got to college. I went to community college, and I said, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, I'll just get a business degree. I don't know what I want to do yet. After my first year, I had a major medical issue, and whenever I started to come around from that, I was like, oh man, I need to get my stuff together. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life so I can take care of myself. And so I was seeing a neuropsychologist at the time, and she told me, I told her that story, and she said, go back to your friend, see if there's anything there that would interest you. And so I was like, all right, well, and so he was at Embark now, which that was the phone company. Sprint sold off their landlines and created Embark, and so that's where he was at that time. So I called him up again. I'm like, hey, I was like, do you mind if I come shadow you sometime? And he said, yeah, absolutely, come on. At that time, they were doing like live event production, and so I went and I job shadowed him again, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. I was like, so I talked to him more. I'm like, where'd you go to school? Like, what'd you do? What'd you get your degree in? So at that time, like he's a UCM graduate, well, CMSU graduate. But at the time, the degree was called broadcasting and film, I think.
Yep,
So
precursor.
yeah, before my time as broadcast media, it was broadcasting and film, I think. And so he told me, like, check out CMS, what it was at the time. So I think I put in an application. I came down, kind of did a little tour, even looked at places to buy, or not to buy, but to rent out for the year. Kind of came around to it, and like with the way the degree played, it would have been smarter for me to finish my associate's degree than to jump ship from Longview and just transfer out. So I stayed at Longview, finished my associate's degree, my associate in arts degree, then transferred to UCM and got my start. So I went straight into the production classes, and so went there, finished out my degree in broadcast media. When I graduated, it was December of 2010. And I don't know if anybody remembers the economy in December of 2010,
Yeah, not so good,
but
was it?
there was, and so I think I started job searching in September, October. And by the time I got to the end of October, beginning of November, there was just nothing out there. Like I was like, I cannot find anything. Luckily, somebody from the department, I think it may have been you, you you were like, hey, Kevin, the broadcast lab graduate assistant, he was like, Kevin's leaving, he's graduating in May. That position opens up. Would you want to stay? And you can get your tuition paid for by doing the graduate assistantship. Um, is that something you're interested in? And I was like, I've got nothing else. Like this is it. Like this is what I'm gonna do. Like I had always wanted my master's too. I had always kind of compared myself to my dad. My dad's got an MBA, so I can't let that guy outdo me. Like I gotta get a master's. So I stayed. I got my master's, graduated with my master's in 2012, December of 2012. And then from there on, I started my career.
Outstanding. So, two questions for you. Number one, the job shadowing. The first time you did the job shadowing, was
Yeah.
that a school requirement or was it just something you wanted to do? And number two, who was this CMSU alum that gave you the hookup?
Okay. So in high school, they gave you a day off to go job shadow. So that's what I
Oh,
wanted to do. I was like, I got to get out of here. So I jumped. But the guy I job shadowed, I've known him literally my whole life. His name is Nick Vella. He works at Zoom now as a enterprise customer success manager. But he was in broadcasting and video production back then. I think he graduated from CMS in 2001, if I had to guess.
and so right there is number one, the value of job shadowing, why you go do that, why we stress that to
Yeah.
even our college students to go do some job shadowing. And number two, the value of mentors, the value of having those professionals who have been in the field who can kind of guide you that way, can give you some of the tricks of the trade, can tell you some of the pitfalls to avoid. And you got lucky. You found one. I mean, obviously you found one that was a friend, but I mean that was in something you wanted to get into, and you got that opportunity through your school. Whether it was to get a day off or not, it still worked out nicely for you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And totally invaluable, totally lucky. Like, I have been incredibly lucky because, like, just I can't explain like how it all worked out. Like, just everything that I had been through. And then job shadowing him, and actually, my first job was working alongside him. Like I ended up like Embark was acquired by a company called CenturyTel. They became CenturyLink. I'm sure everybody in the Warrensburg area knows about
Oh
them.
yeah.
So the way it all worked out, and me jumping on board with them, it just amazing.
So we talk a lot about, again, the job shadowing, the mentoring, but we also talk a lot about in our major, in our degree, that you have to get out and do stuff. You can't just go in the classroom and be taught the lessons and do a project in class and get this thing down. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of reps. What did you do to get involved so you could build your skills?
Um, for what while I was getting my undergrad, I volunteered at KMOS. Are they still in the
Yeah.
basement of
Yeah,
Mark? Okay,
they're still
great.
there. They're still there.
So yeah, like getting involved with the station, and real like you can the way with technology these days, like kids can go out and buy like a $200 machine to go podcasting with. They can buy a $100 camera to set up and do a video podcast and then uploading it to YouTube. Like all of it's such at low cost compared to back when I went through school. Like it would have costed you like way more than a college student could
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was getting involved with KOMOS. That was probably the catalyst that really helped me out.
And then you said when you were in grad school, you obviously were the graduate assistantship right down here where I'm broadcasting from the
Yeah.
broadcast labs. You got to learn the equipment a little bit more. You got to, did you find that working with the undergrads and kind of helping them through, so one of the things our lab supervisors will do is they work as peer tutors. So if we have an
Yep.
undergrad in here that's working on a project and they get stuck, they can turn to our upperclassmen. And
Yeah.
did you find that helping them, teaching them, was that a good way to really reinforce what you were learning?
Yeah. Because they would come to me with questions, usually about video editing. They would come in and be like, formats would be off or something. They're like, why can't I get this to this? Or why can't I get this talk to this? Or why isn't the audio showing up here? And like, I had seen all this stuff in my program and coming up through all the trials and tribulations of broadcast media and um, capturing video and capturing audio. Like I had seen it all. So I became, it sounds cheesy, but the student becomes the teacher. But yeah, so yeah, it was very good to see.
Good deal. Good deal. So let's talk about today. What is PJ Hartzell doing today? You are the multimedia content producer for Children's Mercy Hospital up in Kansas City. What all is involved in that? What all do you do?
Yeah. So here at the hospital, we have two auditoriums. When I first got here, we only had one auditorium. But from our auditoriums, we do large employee events. Children's Mercy also has a regional footprint. So we have Children's Mercy Hospital, Kansas. We have territory in Joplin and Wichita. I think Junction City, Kansas. So we have people throughout Kansas and Missouri. And when we do events, when I first started, it was a lot of educational events. So, a unit would do presentations, like a 4-hour presentation, and then they get credit. And like medical staff, nurses, doctors, they all can collect continuing education credits and continuing nursing education credits. So we would broadcast that content to whoever needed to watch it, basically, and they could get their educational credit that way. We also do like organizational wide, like operational events of operational updates, human resources updates. So we broadcast this to throughout the company, and probably the biggest is our employee town halls. Usually we hit high numbers with our employee town halls because that's when the CEO gets up. He gives updates. He brings in his team to give updates. So those are what we do from here.
See, I love that because we tell a lot our students that, don't think that the only job you can get in broadcasting or in film is working for a television station or on a movie set. And I've used Children's Mercy and a couple of the other larger hospitals as an example, said they have their own video production crew. I mean, you're doing this broadcasting for them, for their in-house media, but
Yes.
that's a full job. And that's how did you get into that?
So I was at a company here in Kansas City, a rather large Kansas City company that is not really around any longer. But when I was there, I was miserable. I wasn't I had gone into broadcasting and video production. Um, I had to take a step back, and I needed to just get into a company, and so I was working here doing basically IT support, and then I needed out of there. But I made the promise to myself that I wasn't just going to jump at the first thing that came. I was like, I'm going to find something. I'm going to find something meaningful, and I'm going to, and that's what I'll go for. So about 9 months into my job search, I found this position at Children's Mercy, and it was like the job description was pretty outdated. It was like updating slide carousels and like installing slide carousels in conference rooms. And I was like, this is in the wheelhouse. I'll give it a shot. Like I don't even know. So I put my application in, I go and I interview with the director, and we kind of start to get to know each other. And she's like, well, actually, this position is like video production. And, she's like, we have an auditorium, we do large events there where you would be operating the AV in there. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want, of course. So like my patience kind of paid off, and my I guess my determination of um sticking with what I wanted and sticking with what I knew really paid off for me.
So that could be the title of your book. Patience pays off. I mean, you think about, you came out of high school, you got into community college, you had the major health issue you had to overcome. You get to your undergraduate, job market kind of peters out. You stick around and get the master's, you get into the job that's not your cup of tea really, and finally you land where you are today, and you're doing great work for a children's hospital. So you said you wanted to do something meaningful. What is your why? Why do you do what you do?
I would say here, because we have an impact on how the kids get care. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Like I get squeamish. I that life is not for me. But we provide a service to the clinicians and the nursing staff who do take care of the kids. And that is kind of invaluable to me. Like that is me making an impact. Um, it means a lot to me to be able to do that. So that's my why, is really like specifically for this position here, is like having an impact on the kids. That's my why.
Yeah, that hits the old man in the fields right there. PJ, thank you for that. That's pretty special. We talk about the university that it's education for service. That's our mission. We're trying to train students to go out and serve and make the world a better place and to care for people, whatever their skills are, whatever your skill set is, you're doing exactly that. And God bless you. Thank you, man, for doing that. The university slogan now, and I think you embody this really, really well, is redefining what's possible. So you get your degree, you could have been going to Hollywood and making movies. You could have been working for the Royals, running the video boards. You could have been doing something like that. You found another way to use your skills, to use your passion to serve. What does redefining what's possible mean to you?
Thinking outside the box, for sure. Like you said, like you don't I mean, really back in my day, it was news or radio. Like that's what you're going into. Um, Now there's even more possibilities. Like podcasting is huge right now. Like
Thank goodness.
that's a whole new market. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right here, right now. It's massive. So and even that, even like the kids who are getting into podcasting in 10 years, they're going to find something new. So like that's what redefining is. Like what's next? What's the next level? What's the next thing we can accomplish?
It's a good definition for it. Think outside the box and what's next? What can we do next? All right, before I let you get out of here, PJ, I got two last questions for you. Got a number of students coming in as we're recording this. This is going to air in the spring of 2026. We're recording it the Thursday before classes start in the fall. So that's how these podcasts work. You get a number of them
Yep.
recorded, you get them edited, you get them in the can, you get ready to release them. But as we're getting ready for that, what is a piece of advice you would have for a current UCM student studying in communication and digital media, undergrad, master's program? And what's a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's thinking about coming to UCM to study with us?
So the advice I would give to the current DNP students, get as much experience as you can. Podcasting and audio, video, the KMOS, going down, just volunteering at KMOS. Just get out there and do it, and keep an open mind when you're doing it. For advice for people who are thinking about coming to UCM, just take in the whole experience, get involved, and like just take it all in, and you won't go wrong.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day about, as an alum, I went down to the state fair and got to work the UCM booth down there. And we had alums coming through, and they all were talking about what a great time they had here at school and what they got out of it. And, thinking about coming back for homecoming and things. And just, they were always saying just being involved with fraternities, with clubs and organizations, with KMOS and stuff. So that's great advice. You took it. You're doing really well. PJ Hartzell, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate getting to visit with you. You're doing some great work. Again, thank you for being there for those kiddos, for the doctors and nurses who are providing for them. Keep doing great work. We're proud of you. Thanks for being with us today.
Joe, thank you so much for having me. Tell everyone there I said hello.
Will do. And thanks all of you for tuning in today. Remember, you can catch every episode on our YouTube channel through the UCM Media Network. That's youtube.com/UCMMN. You can also listen on Spotify. Special thanks to Jake Mager for creating our theme music for us. Again, this is Dr. Joe Moore reminding you, you can get there from here. Have a great day.